Okay guys, this is a demonstration on how to transfer your design from your paper to the surface of your stepstone. So what I'm going to start with is a little bit of water here. Let me get this going. I'm just going to spray my hand and get the surface of my stepstone a little bit wet. Just wet enough to where when I put the paper, my final draft, 6" by 6" square, on the stepstone, it will stick, okay? Now we're going to destroy this paper here in a second, so don't be too careful. You just want it to get in one place and then stick. And what I'm doing next is I'm going to go and poke dots along the lines. You could just take a pencil and trace the lines, but I think it's easier to poke the dots with a needle. And after poking all the dots, what we'll do is peel the paper off and go connect the dots with the needle. I think it's easier this way because if you just trace with the pencil, it's gonna just start tearing up, or it can tear up your paper pretty good because the paper's already wet. So anyway, carefully, precisely, poke dots about 1 millimeter apart along all the lines in your design. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Might be a little tedious to watch. But you should get the idea. Alright, so now I've poked all of my dots. Stretch my hands out. I'm going to carefully peel this paper off, and notice that I did leave about a 1/4 inch border around the edge of the stone. We're going to need that space later for your name and graduation year. Okay, so carefully peel it off. Little pieces of paper stick to your stepstone. It is okay. They will mostly come off as we start carving, and if they don't, they'll burn off in the firing. So the next thing I'm doing, I'm connecting the dots, and I'm being real careful to cut straight lines. I'm putting the needle straight in, I'm cutting straight across, and you'll see why later when I start carving. I want to have these straight cliffs or straight cuts that I'm cutting straight up and down into the surface of the clay. So I'm connecting all the dots. Take your time. So I have finished connecting all the dots. You see lots of little boogers of clay on the edges of these lines. Resist the urge to pick those boogers now. Let's let them dry a little bit and we'll pick those off later. I'm going to mark all my negative shapes. And I'm going to do a little carve right here just to see. And you see how the clay is sticking to the tool? That tells me that the clay is still too wet. So I'm going to let this clay dry a little longer, and in the next video I'll show you how to carve. Alright guys.